for me, I was just quickly going through some of the messages here, and trust me, guys, I am excited to be here. I don't know about you guys, but I am excited to be amongst individuals like you. So for me to just quickly share my screen, share a slide right now. Excuse me. So please, guys, if you can see my screen or this slide I'm sharing right now, can you give me a thumbs up so I would know that we are all on the same page? Okay, nice one, Mr. Samson. I can see Mr. John, Tuminunu. Hope I pronounced that name correctly. Mr. Innocent. Right, so that's awesome. Now let's start the session off proper, right? And then as you guys are all aware, right, on this session, we intend to educate ourselves somewhat on how best to leverage AI in, especially at the time and stage, at the time in, at an awesome time in life where we are having this, where we are having this explosion of artificial intelligence adoption, be it across industries, right? Going from manufacturing towards to healthcare services to the educational sector and etc. Right, and then right before our very own eyes, right? Artificial intelligence is what is changing things, right? So research on practical is what is career experience session on how to leverage artificial intelligence as as a data scientist, right? And then if you stick through with me on this call, I'm going to be giving you guys some strategies to ensure that you are able to 10 times your productivity using artificial intelligence and also generative AI, which is a form of artificial intelligence, by the way. So a quick background about Amdari, right? Before we get right into the business of the day. Right, so Amdari is an innovative company, an innovative platform that is designed to revolutionize how professionals build and gain practical career experience, right? And then our mission over here at Amdari is to bridge this gap that exists between theoretical learning and real life experience, right? As just I'm sure you must have heard from those testimonials earlier, right? If you've listened carefully, right, you notice that they all had one thing in common, right? So all of them were this group of individuals who learned these skills, right? Learn these data skills, be it data analytics, be it data science, be it engineering, right? They all learned these skills, but they did not have the platform that will be able to, give them the much needed experience that they needed. And then so that's essentially what we do over here at Amdari, right? So we give you guys, or we are the intermediate, we are the gap, and we essentially bridge the gap between theoretical learning and real world experience by providing you guys, our users, with real life end-to-end practical and also hands-on projects on these fields, right? So in fields like data science, data engineering, and etc. Right, and then our dream is to revolutionize the way people acquire industry knowledge and experience. Right, and then so a little background information about my humble self. Right, so just as Ms. Brivia earlier introduced, my name is Mandian Bot, and I am a machine learning engineer and the data science lead over here at Dari. Right, and then I have vast experience in predictive analytics and cloud development, as well as artificial intelligence. Right, and then I've worked across diverse industries, right, and I've used my experience in software development, in machine learning and cloud platforms towards to tackle complex challenges across these industries, right? And then one thing about me, apart from the fact that I am a die-hard Manchester United fan, forget the fact that we are talking these days or lately, right? But then I'm also passionate about using technology towards to solve problems, right? So yep. And then guys, of course, you can always catch up with me on my socials, either by connecting with me via LinkedIn, right? So over here I have embedded the link to my LinkedIn handle, as well as the link towards to my X profile as well. And now I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day you guys might get this particular resource, right? So if you do, right, you can just hover your mouse over here, and then once you click through, this will take you directly towards to my socials. So now that you guys know, or you guys are all caught up about me, right, I would like to have, you know, I think I'm going to pick just maybe one, two, or three people here in the session, and then let's just get towards to know each other. So, please, if I may, do we have data scientists in the house? How many of you guys are, or how many of you guys on this call are, or have practiced, or maybe have learned some form of data science? Can I see your hand? Okay, I think I have just Mr. Promise Sunday. Okay, yeah, Pauline, Adam, Suleiman. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so now, how many out of you now that have just raised your hand, how many of you guys are currently working as data scientists? How many of you guys are currently working right now as data scientists? Out of all of you guys that raised your hand, I think I can still see Suleiman's hand up. Right. So Suleiman, Mr. Suleiman, please, if you may, right, you can of course use you can use the chat box, right? So can you just like quickly, um, just quickly, just tell us, you can use the chat box, of course, right? Just quickly type in, excuse me, just quickly type in, um, I, I I actually wanted to ask you where the company or where exactly, but that might be a bit inappropriate, right? So can you just quickly just type in what or some of those major challenges that or that particular challenge that you have, or that you faced, right, when you were trying to transition fully into data science. So I am not currently working. It was network delay. Okay. Okay, so I guess we are all on the same page, right? That you guys all have some form of data science skills, but you don't work, right? And then you're looking towards transitioning, right? You are looking towards gaining some experience that will enable you to apply for these data science roles. Okay, that's awesome. Right. So if you fall in this category, then trust me guys when I that you're at the right place. So let's just brief forward of what we're looking at, right? The session's agenda, right? So first off, right, we are just going to explore a little bit background surrounding AI. So I'm sure that you guys must have heard a lot about AI, right? Being currently living in the AI boom period, right? You must have heard a lot of the word AI being thrown here and there, right? And then maybe you're wondering, oh, what is this AI, right? Or how can I leverage this AI as a skill to to position me better for more data science opportunities, right? And then afterwards, right, we are going to look at some strategies, right, that may be key for you in leveraging this AI for your data science tasks, right? And then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about the Amdari workshop experience that we have over here at Amdari, and then we will also explore or explore our special offer to you guys. So let's get right into the business of the day, right? So I have the first question now, right? How can we, right, as data scientists, how can we use AI, right? Or better still, how can AI be incorporated into our existing data workflows, right? So for those of you that raised your hand earlier when I asked you, your skill level, right? I believe you guys can bear witness, or you guys can bear witness how incredibly tiresome, right, or difficult, typing in those data science codes, right, working on those pipelines and those workflows can be, right. And then please, if I may, right, let me throw another quick question at you guys, right. So in a typical workflow, right, what's that difficult step for you? Like what's like the most step when when you're trying to implement your data science workflow? You can just make use of the chat box. Like what is that difficult step? It must not be really necessarily difficult, but let's say what is that step in your data science workflow that takes a whole lot of your time? Maybe you noticed that you ended up spending about 80% of your total time in just that area or in just that specific area. Can be in your EDA phase. It can be in what? Oh, okay. Mr. Suleiman, he says in data cleaning. Of course, yes, data cleaning, very, very difficult, right? Like some years back when I started, I found out that, trust me, I found out that I can roughly spend up to about 75% of my time on data cleaning alone, right? And then trust me, guys, that's just insane. Okay, we might say saying creating code. I might say, I think if I'm to take a wild guess, I would say that Python has been giving you a good or healthy amount of headache lately. Okay, so creating codes, we have data cleaning. Mr. Promise is saying data cleaning and pre-processing. So, though they often work hand in hand with data cleaning, right? But data pre-processing can also be a very, very troublesome part of your entire workflow. Okay, I can see more. Okay, I can see Miss Florence saying EDA. Okay, Odofin Femi, data cleaning and EDA. Yes, yes, yes. That's quite true. That's quite true. Right. So that's awesome. Right. So typically, right, to us as data scientists, right, AI is what is that bridge, or permit me to use, I would say personally, right, AI to me, right, is that very, very handy assistant, right? So you can see all of those challenges that you guys outline, right? Ranging from EDA to data cleaning to data pre-processing, right? Trust me when I say that if you used to spend an insane amount of time at any of those stages, right? You can utilize the AI and generative AI capabilities to effectively shorten the amount of time that you need to spend in that particular area of your workflow. So now, how can AI be incorporated into existing data flows? Right. These are some of the questions that we intend to answer in this session. So first off, what is AI? Right. That's what is artificial intelligence, right? And then, according to Stanford professor, Professor John McCarthy, right, that was as far back as 1956, right? He sort of defined AI as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines, right? Making machines that can take um, decisions without being explicitly programmed to do so, right? Now, artificial intelligence on its own is very, very vast. And then there are different forms of artificial intelligence. Right now, if I should move back to you guys over here, right? I am very, very sure, right, that in in some of those challenges that you made mention, right? I am 50% sure that some of you guys have used some form of machine learning to solve a particular area of your challenge. So be it whether you want to perform some form of forecasting, or you want to implement, or you want to utilize machine learning to carry out some form of specialized pipeline pre-processing, right? So you see, all these are all forms of artificial intelligence. Machine learning on itself is a form of artificial intelligence. That I know that most of us here can relate to. And then now generative AI, right? This is like the latest boom, the latest trend in artificial intelligence, right? And then generative AI is just an approach or a form of artificial intelligence, right? Where due to what? Where due to the where due to where due to the capability that having very, very powerful and fast computers are what have given us in this generation, right? It's a form of artificial intelligence that can help create new content, right? And then by new content, to us as data professionals, we are talking about you can use generative AI to create codes, right? So I think earlier, was it? Yes, Omatsai said, Omatsai said creating codes, right? So you can actually use what generative AI to help you in creating codes, can help you in generating images, right? Both artificial and real images, right? And then also even generating some other forms of media, right? Like I've seen AI created music from scratch. Right. I myself have personally built some program that was meant to try to transcribe a particular language from that language into another, and etc. Right. Now the key thing with generative AI is that it has learned all of this, or it has been able to amass all of these capabilities strictly by observing patterns that it has already learned from already existing data, right? So that's why I said what generative AI is just a form of artificial intelligence at its core, right? And then that is what we are going to see in the demo, right? In a very, very short demo that we would soon see, right? And then you guys can get to see how you can use some of these capabilities of generative AI to solve those pressing challenges that you guys mentioned earlier on. So moving onwards, right? Yeah, I think I pretty much answered this question, right? So we already know that data science and artificial intelligence are like some of the most informed and then well sought out skills in this generation, right? And then it's little surprise after all. And then another key thing is most organizations and companies are now finding ways to adopt either artificial intelligence or generative AI in their work processes, right? And then they do that because this AI helps them to make quick and easy decisions, right? So it helps them in decision making, and then it also boosts the overall productivity of any worker, right? And then I also noticed that lately, like for the past 2 years, right, the word on the street was oh, AI will take your job. Oh, AI will take your job. But I'm here to tell you that AI cannot take your job, right? Instead, AI is what is here to help you do your job much better. So, what will we be learning, right, in this session? So, first off, right, we are going to be looking at what are the connection between data science and AI, right, and then how you can 10 times your productivity, or how you can boost your skill by using this artificial intelligence in your data science workflows. And then also we are going to explore some very, very common tools that is being used by data scientists and other professionals today, was to help them and their team in meeting whatever goal or objective that they would that was outlined for them. So I feel I'm moving a little bit too fast. So let me take my time and touch base with you guys. So how far, guys? Is what I'm saying making sense so far? Is it making sense? Okay, so that's awesome, right? That's awesome. So let's make some more progress. Right now, I know some of you guys might be having this question, but oh, I am already an accomplished data scientist, right? Is it still important to use AI? Right. So for some of us, or for those of you here who must have had, or who must have had have gone far. Like, so now I'm talking about people that are at intermediary to almost expert level skill, right? You must be asking, you must be asking yourself this question. I'm already accomplished, right? I already know so much. I already know how to code in Python, right? I already know those tools that are there to help me with my product, right? I already know how to make deployments and the likes. Is it still important to use AI? Like, yes, it's incredibly important, and then you guys would see why. Right. So we know, right, that typically when we are utilizing when we are using or we know typically on our data science pipeline or on our workflows, right? What we are typically doing is we are looking for ways to efficiently analyze big data, right? So, and then this is one area that artificial intelligence is incredibly useful, right? Like these days there are literally AI platforms or AI tools that you just all you have to do is to just feed it your data, right? You just feed it your data, it will carry out all of those processes for you, right? You see the data cleaning that you guys mentioned, the exploratory data analysis that takes so much of your time. Is it the creating of data pipelines now that take off your time? Is it data pre-processing or picture engineering, right? So no matter what your goal or your aim is, right, there are literally AI tools out there that will get that stuff done for you in a jiffy, right? So you see, that's why here we said the first major use of AI in data science is to help us efficiently analyze big data and set. So moving onwards, right, to automate data management. Right, so we know that a great deal of our time typically is being spent on managing the kind of data that you have, right? This can actually get problematic when you're working on even when you're working with big data, right? So now this is another key area where AI is what is being utilized to efficiently help automate data managing processes and procedures, and also ensures that you sort of that you do those stuff in an ethical and then in a speedy manner. Right. So moving onwards, right, another key area where we use data science today as part of our workflow is whenever is just in supporting us in our day-to-day and our daily tasks, right? Now with generative AI, right, you can literally cut, like take for instance, if you used to spend like roughly 3 hours, right, on trying to write out codes with generative AI, you can cut that three you can effectively cut that time from 3 hours down to within 10 and 15 minutes, right? And then I'll show you guys this on the demo. So not just writing codes, right? Is it you would like to create quick reports, right? We know that as data professionals, uh creating reports is also a fundamental part of our work, right? And then sometimes to create these reports might take an insane amount of time, right? And then this stuff gets worse if you don't even have domain knowledge in what or expertise in that area. Right now, with the advent of generative AI, right, one data scientist can carry out the work of the work of an entire data team. Right, you can effectively use this generative AI tool as your assistant, and then you can see that it helps you out in carrying out your day-to-day tasks. So last but not least, right, of course we use it in making predictions and then recommendations, right? And then now, as data scientists, right, we know that we mostly build these models to help us predict a particular behavior, right? So be it a behavior in the supply chain, logistics, or a behavior in whichever domain or sector, naturally, right? And then now with AI, right, you can use the AI's capability to help you in creating these predictions and then quickly generating recommendations. Right now, AI tools are perfect for that. And then the fun thing is that they are only this AI tool just keeps getting better and better at carrying out this particular task. And then so those were like general way of some straightforward, observable way in which we utilize data science in the industry today. So moving onwards, right now for you, if you would like to find a way to add AI into your own workflow. Right, first of all, that you would have to identify your goals, right? So what is your business goal? What is your objective? Right now, once you're able to identify that, right, that will help you to identify the area in in that case where AI could help you derive the most value for either your workflow or for your project, right? So like take for instance, at the beginning of the session when I asked the question on which areas are quite troublesome to you guys, right? Some of you guys mentioned pre-processing, right? So putting yourself in that shoes, right? If you're a data scientist and then data pre-processing is an area that gives you a headache, right? You need that sort of makes the job very, very short, right? Because now you automatically know the area that you can get to apply AI to make the whole work or the workflow very, very easy for you. So that's why I have here. You could actually use it to maybe improve your code base. Is it your code base that you want to improve on, right? Or is it an already existing pipeline that you wish to optimize, right? Or do you want to implement your EDA or automate your report, right? You can actually use, once you're able to identify this need, right, where you want to utilize AI to speed up or to help you out in that particular area, right? I would say you practically don't have half of the job. And so it's just left for it to look for an AI tool that would efficiently help you fix that problem. Yeah. And then the next area is you'd have to assess your data. Right. So the thing with computer typically is you have garbage in, garbage out, right? So when you feed your computer messy data, right, or when you feed your model, I believe you guys also know this from raw experience, right? When you don't beat or when you don't wrangle your data the way you ought to, right? When you don't get your data in a particular framework or shape, and of course you end up with garbage at the end of the day. That is why evaluating your data set before implementing or applying any form of artificial intelligence is extremely important. Because if you want to get the valuable answer at the end of the day, right, then you have to pay attention to the kind of data that you feed that particular AI, right? As some people would say, is all in the data set. And then the fun thing is what is that these days there are even other AI tools out that will even help you with that in assessing your what the quality of your data. Right. So it's with AI, it just makes our work incredibly easy. And then moving on, so the next strategy that you would have to have at the back of your mind when you're trying to implement artificial intelligence in your workflow is what is choosing the right AI tools, right? Now, there are this thing that they are that fits the what there's this saying, is it that you should fit the round peg in the round hole or something, right? So this same stuff applies to when you are implementing artificial intelligence on your data science workflow as well. But it's not every AI tool that is that's meant for any kind of problem. Right, like take for instance, I personally have come across some specialized AI tools that are built for reporting, right? There are some specialized AI tools that are built specifically to help you debug your code or to write your code, right? There are also another set of AI tools that are specifically built let's say they're specifically built to help communities also in the health sector here and the likes, right? So the whole idea is that you have to be able to select the proper AI tool and the platform that would align with your workflow needs and sometimes even your budget, right? So you have to consider you have to consider things like okay, how scalable it is. If I use this AI tool, is this scalable, right? You also have to consider consider things like, okay, how how easily integratable is this particular AI tool to other tools that I may likely use in my workflow and etc. Right, so you have to consider this, right, in choosing the appropriate artificial intelligence tool or generative intelligence platform that you wish to utilize. And then, last but not the least, right, the key strategy that you should put at the back of your mind is that in the world of data science, right, those who are quick to learn and adapt are the kings as far as I'm concerned, right? So what this is trying to point out is that every single day, right, week in, week out, new tools are being consistently being generated and put into the system, right? So, like if I should tell you guys the number of new AI tools that have been created just within the last 1 month, right? Like you won't believe it, right? So these tools are constantly being turned in, and then it becomes a Herculean task to try to keep up with this, right? And then that is why as a data scientist, right, if you're looking towards implementing AI in maybe your organizational workflow or in your work, right? You should prepare your mind that this journey is permit me to use the word, is not for the faint of heart, right? So you should be prepared that you would have to be constantly be evolving, right? You have to try to stay up and to keep abreast with the latest best practices in the field. And then I know earlier I made mention of tools, right? So over here are some examples of I think some of the most generally accepted some of the most general AI tools that are out there, right? So here I have this is ChatGPT, right? And I am 100% sure that almost all of you guys here have heard and have even used ChatGPT at some point in time, right? So over here is what is Copilot, GitHub Copilot. So recall when I gave you guys an example of when I said there's an AI that can help you out in writing of codes, right? So GitHub Copilot is that AI. Albeit is even though is a paid tool, right? But then trust me, it is worth it, right? So these are some strategies that you guys should definitely put at the back of your mind, right? If you are thinking towards utilizing or even any form of artificial intelligence tool or generative AI tool to to your workflow or to your work. So I'm going to take a breather here. I know I've said a lot, right? So I'm taking a breather here, right? But then meanwhile, please, if you guys can relate to most of the things that I've said here, right? Or if most of the things I'm saying here is making sense, please can you kindly indicate by giving me a hand emoji so that I know that we are all together on this. Okay, Anita, Kuda, Aditi. Okay, that's awesome. That's great. That's just awesome. Okay, so before I get too engrossed in that, okay, that's nice. That's nice. That's awesome. Great. So at this particular point in time, right, we are going to carry out a very brief demo, right? And then the whole essence of this demo is just to show you guys some of these things. Right now, ordinarily for this demo, this is what would have ordinarily taken me maybe a good 3 to 4 hours was to fully implement at max, right? But with generative AI tool, right, I think I was able to do that in little above 10 minutes, right? So now we are going to have that demo, and then the major point is what is guys how you can how powerful these tools are, right? And then if you can adopt them and use them efficiently, you get to see how effective they can make you be at your work. So let's get right into this. So specifically on the demo, I'm going to be using the Google Collaboratory Notebook, right? So this demo is something that you guys can follow along. Right? I don't know, but I think the link to I don't know if this speed is good. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to briefly walk you guys through this demo. So let me share this tab now. Right. So first off, I'm going to open up my collaborative notebook. Right, so please, for those of us here that haven't used Colab is more or less like Google's version of Jupyter Notebook. Right, is almost the same, and it's a cool tool to carry out your prototyping or to even carry out your what or to it's a cool tool to use as an IDE, right? And then also one of the reasons why I like Colab is simply because one of the reasons why I like Colab is simply because Colab offers easy integration with some of these AI tools that I've been talking about, right? Specifically Gemini, right? Which is like Google's version of ChatGPT. So I don't know. How many of us here have used Gemini or have worked with Gemini at some point in time? Have you used Gemini before? Okay, yes, Mr. Daniel. Okay. I think I have just a few people. Okay, now what about ChatGPT? How many of you guys here have used ChatGPT? Uh the difference is clear. I think we have more people using ChatGPT here in the house. You guys should definitely check Gemini out. You people don't know what you're missing, right? So well, that's us by the way, right? So over here I have prepared the data set. So I'll just come over here and then quickly upload this data set from my local um machine. So let's just give it some time. This is trying to connect. So it's connecting, it's taking a strange amount of time, taking some time. Okay, that's awesome. So right now I'll just quickly upload my dataset file. Just give it some time towards to load. Right, and then as the dataset file is what is loading, right? When you look at the at this screen, you can see that over here at the top right corner of your screen is what is the Gemini API. All right, so that's why I said that, sometimes you have to consider how easily integratable the AI tool that you choose to use is with your tools of choice, or with the platforms that you typically work with. And then Gemini is what is easily integrated, is in fact is built into what is built into, you can see here that is what that is built into Collab as a tool itself, right? So that means it's very okay to use this within this collaborative environment to do whatever you want, right? And then funny thing is, if you're a user of any Google product, right? So be it you're using the workspace, or you're using any of their products, be it an email, the Meet, or essentially all of their tools, right? Google have integrated this Gemini AI towards to their tools, right? And then the fun part is Gemini is free, right? Gemini is free. So if you haven't been using this, right, trust me, and I see that what they have been shooting yourself in the leg all this well. Okay, so now that our data is what is fully uploaded, right now I'm just going to import pandas so that we can help us to read in that data set. Great, and then I'll just be creating a variable called data where where would store or save this data set. So this is the data set name. So I'll just come over here, copy the part file, and then that's what I'm pasting here. So when you run this and then you call your head method, so you can see that this is typically what the data set looks like, right? So the data set is just is actually got it from a car assembly, and then I think is a data set that has to do with data set of cars and their carbon emission, right? And then you can see here these are different models of cars, and all these other features okay, like this sales area is the particular area where the car was sold, and the underhood ID of the car, the vehicle class of the car, and the greenhouse gas score of that particular car, right? And then this smart way is whether the car is a smart car or not. So this is essentially what a very sizable data set, right? Now prior to the boom of AI, you guys already know if you are working on this kind of data set, right? First, when you start your data wrangling, right? So you start moving in, you start looking for those missing features, you start looking for features that are not important to the data set, start looking for redundant features, you start exploring them, right? And then typically we used to use codes to do all that, right? But then right now with AI, you can see that you can even see how this Gemini has been fully integrated into this Colab environment. That you can just come over here, you can use this, either generate code with data, and then you can just specifically type in okay, so you can type in what you want to plot. This is of course for EDA purposes. So for my brother here that said he spent a lot of time doing carrying out EDA, right? You can see that using this Gemini or using this tool, right? EDA EDA becomes something that you can just do at the click of your finger. I go over here now. Right, when I look at this data, I can just come over here and even click on view recommended plots. Right. So what's going to happen right now is that Gemini will sort of create or plot out some of the visualizations of the features of the data set. Right. You can see that is that is plotting out some univariate plots. Then it's now plotting out some bivariate plots and etc. etc. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the beauty of generative AI. Right. So this is what would typically, you know, you guys can bear me witness, right? Let me ask you guys this, please put in your answer in the chat box, right? Like, how long, right? If you were writing out the codes by yourself, how long would it have typically taken you to carry out your exploratory data analysis for a data set of this caliber, right? I think this would have roughly taken you nothing less than 20 to 30 minutes. Right, but you can see here that by just a click of one button, right, we have all of our EDA plots here being done for us, and then now it makes your work as a data scientist easy, right? Like all you have to do is to pick up a particular plot of interest and then take a look at it and then see what the data there or in that plot is telling you. Like here, I can just come over here, click on this plot. Right, and then you can see the generative AI doing its thing, right? So you can see here, I have the relationship between these two features being displayed here, right? So this is all due to the Gemini algorithms that are working beneath or are working in sync with the Google Colab tool. So another way again is typically, right? I think one of you guys or one of you said data preprocessing, and data cleaning, right? Used to take a good amount of his time. Right, but right now, let me show you guys how you can use the Gemini API to do that in a couple of minutes. And then also someone said writing of codes. Right now, if you guys have been paying attention, you notice that only place that I myself wrote code was when I imported pandas and imported the data set. Apart from that, everything else has been done to me by AI. So here's what I'll just say this. So I'll just say prompt. Right, then here you can say create a function that that cleans and replaces the missing data points from the data. So I'm sure you guys can see I am not typing any code here, right? All I did was to pass a simple prompt to the Gemini API, right? And then when I type in enter here, you guys can now relax, take your water, and then allow Gemini to do the writing of code for you. Okay, you can see that seems that it's dropped, right? So you can see now all I have to do is you can now come over here, copy this code off, bring it to this area, and then drop it, right? So let's run this. Right, and then now let's test this function that was AI generated. So if we should say and then let's pass our data here. So let's say data is equals to this, and then we run this. Right, so now let's check whether we have any missing data feature here. So if you see data dot is any dot sum, then you run this. right? You can see that this function has effectively cleaned out all of the data sets, and then I did not use my hand to write any single code, right? I used what artificial intelligence and generative AI to sort of generate the code that I used here. So now let's explore, let's see what we can do with this particular or in this particular work further. Right, so here, and then when you glance through this output here, you can see that the AI is even trying to walk you through its process. Right? Do you have an idea? Like, I don't know if you guys are appreciative of how easy this stuff makes your work. Right? Like, you literally, all you have to do is just relax, and then you are just having this back and forth with the AI is giving you giving you codes to use. You use it, and then it's also giving you the logic behind its choice of codes. Right, so now here I can just come over here and say, okay, I want you to create a function that or better still, let's do this way, create a function that implements a pipeline. So a pipeline that cleans and encodes the data set. Now I think we did clean over here, right? So let's try scale, right? So let's say it encodes, scales, and transforms. Now let's just leave that scale and scales toward the data set. And then let's run this now. Then let's see what comes up. Okay, and then let's just give it some time to do what it does best. Wait, so guys, can you see? Right, so now over here is the function that implements a pipeline to encode and scale your data set. Right, so all you literally have to do is to just copy this one, right? Bring it back to your work environment or your IDE or whatever it is that you're working. Let's paste this here, right? And then let's run this. And then now let's test out the code. So this will be data equals to data pipeline, and then we pass our data. So let's pass our data, and then let's run this. And then let's just give it some time, and then voila. Right, so now when we call our data, let's see what our transform data now looks like. Well, that's awesome. So guys, can you see? Right, so this literally encoded and scaled our data set, right? And then when you look at the codes closely, right, you can get to see what is happening in that particular pipeline. And then for those of you that may be having difficulty maybe writing or reading codes, right, you can scale through here to this interactive chat box here with the AI, and then you can see it literally walking you through whatever it is that is happening in this code block, right? I'm not sure you guys are appreciating what this has done to you, because just now, if I scroll back through, right, we've managed to write about how many lines of code here with without breaking a sweat in nothing more than in I think in nothing more than in nothing up to even 10 minutes. Right, so now let's try this one further. Right, so here I can say create the function that, okay, let's say create a function that applies 5 different algorithms. So I'll say to classify the, so I'll just come over here and let's say, what do we want to predict? What do we want to predict? What do we want to predict? Let's say we want to predict whether the car is is a smart vehicle or what or not. So that predicts or that classifies the, let's see what is contained here. That is able to classify the function that, create a function that applies 5 different algorithms to classify the smart way feature that can classify that can classify the smart way feature, right? And then not only that, we also want it to compute or to also evaluate the performance of those model. So here I'll add evaluate the performance of the models and plots out, let's say plots out a classification result. So let's say I'm plot out a classification report, classification report, right? So enter, and then let's just give it some time to do its magic. Here's a function that applies 5 different classification algorithms. Okay, so it's still doing its thing. Okay, so apparently it seems like the API is experiencing some technical difficulties, right? So yeah, but I believe you guys get the point that what I'm trying to pass across here, right? Like, just imagine integrating this fully into your work life, into your workflow, right? This would drastically cut down the amount of time that you spend on your work, right? Thereby boosting your productivity from wherever level you are into a much more advanced level. Right, so I'm just going to take a stop for now, right? So that way we don't get to spend the whole of our time, because I promised you guys at the beginning of this that this demo will be very, very short. So when you look through what we've done so far, right, you can see that this is something that would ordinarily have spent or would ordinarily have taken would ordinarily have taken us maybe a couple of hours, right? If we are to do this by ourselves, right? The writing of the code, the data transforms and the likes, right? But we are able to implement this in nothing much than, in fact, not more than not to 10 minutes, right? We'll be able to utilize AI to implement this. So that is what AI brings to the fold to us as well as data professionals, as data scientists, as machine learning engineers, right? And then what I can tell you guys is the sooner that you are they're able to find a way to incorporate this into your work life, into your workflow, the better it becomes or it gets forward for you. So that's just all concerning this demo, right? And then if you're curious about this particular demo, right, I think my colleagues will send the link to where the data set and the data set is what is being dropped, right? So you guys can also take that data set from there and then try to play around with it in your own Google Collaboratory notebook. So please remember, make sure you try to use this, which just try out using the Gemini, right? And then trust me, everything that this Gemini has done here, right? ChatGPT is what is capable of doing close to it, or who knows, even far better than this. So back to this tab here. So now that we've seen our demo, right? I'm going to close down this session with this. Right. So guys, please in order for it to stay abreast the trend, right? You have to build your skills. You have to gain this relevant experience. You have to find a way to integrate AI into your work and into your toolbox or your skill set, right? To help you leverage all of these opportunities that we have in this time. Right. So here AI is quickly changing the way we work. Yes, it is changing the way we work, especially generative AI. So you have to learn what that is, like learn what generative AI is, learn how to use it, right? And then learn why it's different from what that we have there. Right. So once you've done that, you just keep continue building your skills, and then you'll be in no time, right? Which of our offense over here at Amdari. And like if you guys could remember at the beginning of the session, I said Amdari is an experience focused platform and experience focused company, right? And then over here at Amdari, right, we try to we teach our interns, right? We show them how to integrate and how to utilize all of these new tools to make them better data professionals, to make them better data scientists, and then to automatically give them an edge in the job market, right? So thank you guys, thank you for having me, and I think I'm going to move the mic over to Ms. Bremer at this point in time.
All right, so thank you very much for that, Mandiang. And to everyone on the call, I hope that we learned a lot. I hope that we got something impactful from this session. And we're not done with the session. So at the end of this part, Mandiang is coming back if we have questions or if we have queries for him. But I want to throw, will I say, a controversy to what you have learned from the beginning of this call right now. So just give me a moment. Let me share my screen and we'll be good to go. So just give me a moment, guys. All right, so confirm if you can see my screen clearly. Can I get a 1 in the chat if you can see my screen clearly? All right, so thank you very much. Now, guys, I know that you're of the opinion that AI would make life easier for you. And I can see some responses in the chat that if, as regards the slides for this session, all I need to do is to fill the link that my colleague is dropping in the chat. But I want to draw a very, very important, will I say, controversy to you. Guys, if you think that you just need to chill and then AI will do everything for you, then you are absolutely wrong. You can see this meme. Suspect thinks AI will do all of the work. So if you have this mindset, trust me, you're already creating, I will not say you're creating issues for your organization, right? But this is flawed. Because you know the same way we had our demo just now and then our API, right, went off, right? It's the same way if you solely rely on just your AI system, right? And then you decide to be chill, right? What if something happens? Okay, if you were online yesterday around, let's say 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., ChatGPT went off. I literally had a script to write, and then I had to move over to Google AI Studio and then use Gemini. All right, so these are the downsides of relying solely and then putting all your efforts without you as a data professional doing your own work. So if you are this suspect, guys, if you're this guy that thinks that AI will do all of the work, then there's a problem. So I want us to drop a reaction in the chat. Are we this guy, or are we going to be intentional about putting in the work? So that brings me to my next slide. Okay, let me move on to my next slide. So you as a data professional, you have experience, you know that, oh, there are implications to going autonomous. So even if there's, let's say, an autonomous architecture now, like in an organization, there's always a There's always a break in the flow whereby there's always an input from a human engineer to come and checkmate the processes to ensure that they're not going beyond standards. And then we don't have privacy issues or ethical issues and all of that. Again, if you are this suspect, I need you to have a mind shift as regards this. So guys, if you think that relying on AI will do all of the work for you, you are absolutely wrong. What you need to do, you need a combination of not just AI, but your own skills as a data science professional. Coming back to the demo we had with Mandiang, if let's say I don't know Pandas now, right? Or I don't know what Seaborn is, or I don't know what exploratory data analysis is. So I just go to, let's say, ChatGPT or Gemini, and then I type, oh, okay, I want to do this analysis. Yes, it will generate the code for you. But that intuitive understanding, if let's say you're in your work environment and then you want to present that, you need to be more detailed and thorough. So you're solely relying on what? On generative AI at this stage, at the current stage that we are in, that we know that this is just what next token prediction is absolutely flawed. So your skills plus leveraging artificial intelligence is what will get you to the top. So that is why the title of this session was Leveraging Artificial Intelligence as a Data Science Professional. So we need you to have that foundational understanding that you need evidence. You need to have your skills refined. You need to have your skills developed. So when you are now in a work environment or you're working on diverse projects and all of that, that exposure is already there. Please, again, suspect thinks that AI will do everything. So if you are that suspect, just know that I am warning you that as a data professional, right, at this stage, because of issues as regards it, there are different use cases actually. Okay, so if it's regarding health, if it's finance, if it's, let's say, for specific NGOs, they would need you to be very, very meticulous as regards the processes that you take. All right, so let's, from this meme that you can see that I'm looking at you, just picture my face there. I'm looking at you with one eye. You don't have evidence, and then you want to just jump in as a data science professional that I have arrived. AI will do the work for you. Trust me, don't be that person. Okay, so my next slide. Again, I am reiterating this. Focus on building what? Experience and skills. Guys, this is very, very, very important because we have this new generation of individuals that feel that, oh, I don't really need to code. AI will just do everything for me. I don't really need to waste my time and all of that. Yes, AI is going to like save you a lot of time like we saw today, but you cannot underestimate the foundational understanding. Okay, because this is just us doing EDA. But what if there were scenarios whereby you had a particular business problem that you were trying to solve, and then you had to, let's say, think about the procedures and all of the architecture that will be involved in that project? You can't just go to ChatGPT or go to Gemini and say, put all of your code base from your organization, and then they will sue you. You put it in ChatGPT and generate it for you. No, that intuitive thinking is very, very necessary. Focus on building experience and skills, then use AI to simplify your workflow and increase your productivity as a data science professional. There must be evidence, okay? There must be evidence that you understand. There must be evidence that you have the foundational principles and you know them of data science. You know what machine learning. Trust me, there are people writing code and then they really do not understand what is going on, but as long as the code is working, I don't have issues. I don't know if you've been in that situation before, but that's actually wrong, right? The code is working on my end and then we are fine. No. Moving to the next slide. And then as a data science professional, you know that for you to have evidence, for you to have like a track record of your work, you would need to, let's say, know SQL, you need to know Python, you need to know work with Excel, then GitHub for hosting your projects. For cloud services, we have Azure, we have GCP, that's Google Cloud, and then we have AWS, and then we have PySpark. I know that you'll be thinking that this is a lot. And you know, one of the advantages you have as a data science professional is the fact that you have a wide range of, let's say, is a liberty, that's the right word, right? You can work as a data analyst. That's the truth, because you know your entire flow from getting to data science in terms of descriptive analytics, prescriptive, and all of that. You moved from trying to understand your problem, right? What happened, why it happened, before you now move on to predictive analytics. So you already had that training from the analytical aspect before proceeding to what? Machine learning. All right. So you see why it is crucial, right, for you to get abreast with each of these each of these tasks that you'll be working on, right? That each of these tech stacks that you'll be working on. All right. And then again, guys, if you pick one thing from this call at the end of this session, you need to have evidence. You know, Bonabel was saying, you explain, there's no evidence, because when you're working with organizations or you get to, let's say, an interview session, before I would employ you, I would want to see what you can do, because there's nothing you can. I've had like a lot of experiences interviewing individuals, trust me, and it's so funny. Right? How can you tell me that you can do something without me seeing what you can do? Right? Think about it, guys. All right, let's proceed. And you might be thinking, there's SQL, there's Python, there's Excel, there's GitHub, there's this and all of that. How do I get this evidence? So if this is your face right now, right, that you are thinking, oh, okay, so I have this understanding of the foundational concepts of data science. I know what supervised and unsupervised machine learning is. I know what generative AI, natural language processing, and all of that is. And you have noticed that there is a gap in terms of what your skill level and the projects that you have worked on. If I am being practically honest with you, when persons come to me for, let's say, recommendations as regards what they can do to upskill as a data scientist, I always tell them the fastest way you can acquire knowledge and acquire diversity is working on multiple projects. I am being honestly frank with you. Because when you start working on a project, you get errors, you get bugs that you have to sit down and think about your life. And in that thinking, you have to research as regards how you can move forward, because they are paying you. And then you can't be wasting company's time. All right, you have to sit down and then think about it, research as regards how you can solve that problem. In that research, right, in all of the process of asking other developers what you should do if they experienced this error before, that is how you get experience. That's how you get diverse. That's how you stamp your evidence that, oh, I have a track record of working on diverse projects, and I have achieved a certain level where I can now integrate AI and then make life easy for myself. So if this is you and then you're thinking, where can I get all of this? Guys, this is where we are bringing you to Amdari, right? I say this all the time. Amdari is like a lifesaver in this time, because there's a lot of training programs going on. If you go to LinkedIn, if you go to Twitter, if you go to most social media platforms, you'd see you want to be a data scientist, you want to be how to be a data analyst, how to be a data engineer, and all of that. But what happens when you are done with this training? Okay, so you've gone through all of the modules, you've gone through Python, you know how to code, you have like a basic understanding, but what happens next? So we noticed that problem here at Amdari, and that is what we are trying to solve. So yes, you've understood how to be, you've learned the basics of how to be a data scientist. Now, we are giving you the opportunity to come to come work with us across several projects so you can gain that experience. So you can become evident. So you can work across diverse projects and acquire expertise. Guys, in our Amdari platform, I'll have a demo of that right now. We have, there are two sections. We have projects, and these are real life scenarios that companies have experienced. And then because they are our partners, we get to put them on our platform. And you, as an intending expert in data science, you have the liberty to go there and work on them and draw insights and upskill. Coming to my slides, Amdari is an all-in-one solution to helping you. There's a gap between what you know and then what is above. What you need to do is close that gap. All right. And the only way you can do that is by filling the knowledge gap that is in between. All right, so you can see we don't just offer you, let's say, the conventional project and you're done with it. No, we have a standard website that has projects that you can work on. But then we have a special internship that we run here at Amdari that would give you access to work on live projects. But just follow me closely. All right, I'll give like a breakdown of all of the, but guys, I need you to drop a 1 in the chat if you are still with me. I feel alone. I feel like I've been talking for so long and then nobody's responding. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we fine? I need a response in the chat. I need to know that you're following me, guys. I need to know you want to acquire evidence and then you've not left me. You're not still shouting, oh, how can I close that gap? Okay, nice. I am loving our responses. Just follow me closely, guys. If you need the slides, my colleague is dropping the link in the chat. So you get them. All you need to do is fill the link. Then at the end of the session, you get the opportunity to ask questions. So we'll be done in a few minutes, guys. And I believe that we've gained value from the beginning of the session till now. All right, so Amdari provides you advantage in tech by giving you the ability to close that gap. All right, so follow me closely, guys. Now, remember I said that we have a special internship program that we run, and I'll be demoing this on our website. So in case you want to peruse what we have for you. All right, so the very first thing is we have business partners that have gone through issues in their organizations, they've experienced challenges and all of that. They are our partners. So what's the next stage in the cycle? So they come to us with their own problem, and then they tell us, oh, we've been experiencing this problem for a particular period of time, and we need professionals to come and work on them and provide us with insight. So we at Amdari, we are like the middleman. We get these projects from our business partners. And then we bring these projects to you so you can work on them and gain hands-on experience. Guys, you see why this is very, very important. So you get placed into teams, and then every stage of the project is assigned to your team, and you get to work on it. You get to understand the problem that you're trying to solve. That's the very, very first stage of the data analytics life cycle, right? You need to understand what is the problem that I'm trying to solve. All right. Then before you move from the next stage of, oh, how can I proceed after understanding the problem that I'm trying to solve? How can I proceed to the next stage? And then before you move on to up the ladder. Then my next slide. So you as an intern here at Amdari, and then we don't just call you intern because you are working with the data directly from our business partners, right? So you are a data science professional with us. All right, so we take these case studies, give it to you as a data science consultant, and then with your teams, you would strategize, you would think about it, think critically, you would do your research and all of that, and then you come up with what? You come up with solutions to these our business partners. I hope that we're following. I hope that we're getting me clear. So we are the middleman. We are providing you with that experience. We liaise with our partners, right? Bring these projects to you, but we have to anonymize them so that you're not going to spy, right? And try to get feedback. So we want you to stretch yourself and basically learn, because that's the whole essence of all of this. So if you're not learning, then there really is no point. All right, so in your different teams, you get to work with diverse people from different time zones. We have guys from UK, Canada, US, and all of that. So you get to think, when you are in a particular sector or in a particular region, right? The way your mindset is configured is different. So you get to synchronize in terms of your views, in terms of your opinions, and strategize for your project. And then you have a platform where we have professionals come and you convey the insights or the recommendations you have for these businesses. Guys, I know the important thing. When you are done with working on these projects, you can now you can upload that to your GitHub, you can upload that on your LinkedIn profile, and that would be your evidence. Are we still with me, guys? We are almost done. I need you to drop a 1 in the chat if you are with me. Guys, are you with me? Okay, so I can see a message from Victor. Victor says, I think that someone, as a beginner can enroll in Amdari. So guys, let me reiterate this. You have learned data science. You understand the foundational principles governing supervised, unsupervised machine learning and all of that. And then you know how to code. But now you want to upskill. That is what we provide you. So if, let's say, you're starting out in your data science journey, we would provide recommendations of, okay, courses that you can take. But our strategy is to bridge that gap between what you know and what industry level, what's the status quo at industry level is. So if you're like an absolute beginner, guys, you need to go to the foundation and learn. That's just it. Okay, we can, during our one-on-one sessions, we can provide you with recommendations as regards where you can learn, but Amdari is structured for you to get hands-on experience. So coming back to my slides, guys, if I'm gathering experience, okay, so if, let's say, I am now doing all this project and all of that, how can I get my dream role? Remember when I told you that Amdari is a lifesaver? It's like God's Christmas gift, all right? It's like a Christmas gift to you. You know, naturally, if, let's say, I have experience and I'm trying to get a role as data science professional, and then I have to go through LinkedIn, search for jobs, create alerts, go to Indeed, go to Glassdoor, go to Talent, and sometimes it gets so tiring if you've been job hunting before you know that going to these individual platforms, trying to check your mail, trying to restructure your CV and all of that, it is stressful. So aside us trying to bridge the gap in your learning, we are providing an all-encompassive platform. So when I move on to the practical demo, you would see how this works. So all of these jobs that you'd have to apply to individually, we are aggregating them to a single platform where you can just go and search for a particular remote job that you want, and then check your skills. If they're in sync with the job description that is outlined there, you can then proceed with with your application. So Amdari provides you not only the ability to upskill in terms of your knowledge, we have our exclusive job offer. Follow me closely, guys. And aside that, guys, aside the fact that you get to learn, there's a period, there's something I always say again. You can be so good at what you know, and no one literally knows that you exist or knows that you know that. So there are other factors that are involved in you becoming a professional. So we would provide that to you during your internship. That's while you are working with us as a data science consultant at Amdari. All right, so you can see a CV revamp/review session, which is a one-on-one session. We have the LinkedIn session that would have like a walkthrough of, how can I effectively position myself as a professional? Then we have the mentorship session, the career coaching session, the interview preparation session. Then remember the job board that I talked about, right? We'll be moving on to our website to demo this now. And then your online portfolio builder. Guys, follow me closely. Right? Don't lose me. Okay, so if you can see this particular tab, when you go to Google and then you search for Amdari, you would see this, then I can just click on the first link. All right, so this is taking some time to load, and this is our Amdari website. So on your end, you can actually demo this and then you have an overview. So all I need to do is, you can see this rave at the top right. Click on it. This is what? A remote apprenticeship virtual experience. This is where you come to work with us as a data science consultant. So if I click on this now, I click on register and I scroll all the way down, what do you notice? We have several courses as regards HR analytics, data analytics, and a whole lot of courses. But our major focus now is we are data science professionals, and you can just you can apply it. But guys, this is on the side. What I wanted to emphasize on, this is my own portfolio at Amdari. So when you sign up on our platform, you would have a portfolio that is tailored, that's consisting of of your skills, what we know about you, what recruiters want to see about you, or particular features that would distinguish you from being just another conventional data scientist. So we provide this platform to you. Follow me closely, guys. When I come to, you can see my dashboard, my projects, my portfolio, my job board. Okay, let me just click on the job board and guys, I don't know what's happening, but let me just refresh, and I hope this is not my network. But just follow me closely, guys. Okay, give me a moment, guys. I believe I'm having issues with this particular tab. Okay, so we are back. So I had like a slight network issue. Guys, I need a reaction in the chat if you are still with me. I need a reaction in the chat if you are still with me. I believe I had a network glitch. All right, so we are good to go. I know you have questions. I need you to just follow me closely, and then you get the opportunity to ask all of your questions. So when I come down here and I come to my job board, I can come here and search for data science. Even without me searching, you can see that there are remote roles, right, that you can click on and apply to. Guys, so this saves you the stress of having to go through different platforms individually and apply for the jobs there. So you have everything in one particular all-encompassing platform. So what you need to do, click on the particular job, check for what? The job description, then tailor your CV. That's very important because ATS will just fling your CV away if there's no like match. Tailor your CV, and this is what we'll cover during your CV review session. Tailor your CV to the job description and make your application. All right. The next one is my portfolio. When I come to this portfolio overview and I click on my portfolio site, guys, this is me. Hi, I'm Esther Brima. I'm a data scientist from Nigeria, and this is my portfolio that Amdari is providing for me. So instead of you going through the stress of having to pay a developer, upgrade your site at intervals, and then avoiding all of that hassle, right? Amdari is, remember when I said it's the saver it's the Christmas gift from God. Let's put it that way to you. All right. So apologies. So we provide you with what? When you sign up with us, you get to create your portfolio simply by filling a form. All right. So all you need to do, you can see my years of experience, tools, projects completed, and this is just what an overview of myself. So I get to edit this if I want to edit this and update my profile, or as regards this is showing that, oh, I am available for hiring. So apologies for that. I think my solar just went out, but guys, let's continue regardless. Now coming back to my slides, what can you see? This is a section for what? For my projects. All right, so I can have like a display of my project. Then in terms of what? My specializations, what are my skills? What do I know in terms of, oh, I have studied machine learning, I know supervised and unsupervised, I know I've worked with like on projects encompassing generative AI, I've worked with NLP, I've done geosemantics and all of that. You can detail them here. And moving forward, the tools that you use, okay, your skills, you can edit them. So this is what we are providing you at Amdari. It is an all-encompassing package. In terms of your experience, you can add as much experience you have as a data science professional. Recall that I mentioned our goal is to close that gap between the knowledge that you have acquired and what industry standards are. All right, so guys, are we good? Are we good? Are we good to go? Are we good to go? Are we still here? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we on the call? I need our reactions, guys. Don't leave me alone. Come on. Come on, come on. All right, all right, all right. Then finally, you could, if I click on this now, this is already my email address. And this is, when I click on this, it takes me to where? My LinkedIn profile. So let me share this tab instead. What do you see? This is my profile. I am Esme Abrahama. I am a data scientist, and I am currently the head of internship at Amdari. This is what I do. So instead of you going through the stress of trying to find a developer that would do this, Amdari provides this for you. And all you need to do, if I scroll back to the top, I just need to come here and what? Share. Copy this profile, and if let's say I'm at a job interview and then they are requesting for my profile or project that I have worked on, all I need to do is copy this profile and share it to my prospective employers, and I am good to go. Guys, coming back to my slides, Amdari is an all-encompassing platform that would take you from where your current knowledge level to being an industry professional. And we run internships. So you will not be called another intern. No, you would come to us, sign our contract, be registered with us as a data science consultant, and then we serve as a middleman, connecting you with our business partners, and you would grow. Okay, so we run a lot of internship across data analytics, data science, data engineering, HR analytics, FA, cybersecurity, project management, and business analysis. And the deadline for our course starting in January is the 15th of December. I believe that will be this weekend. So think about all of the value propositions that we are providing you. It is your responsibility to decide that, oh, for the coming year, I need to close that gap between where I'm coming from and what the industry, what they require, or what the standards are. All right, so guys, and to make payments, all you need to do, we'll be sending details, and my colleague will be sending details in the chat, and you just need to click on the link and follow the instructions there. So we have the international experience and we have the Nigerian experience. Currently, we are running a discount for the first 10 persons to register. So instead of you paying, let's say for the international experience where you have $400, you get to pay $300. And then for the Nigerian experience, instead of you paying what, 400,000, you get to pay 300,000. That's like a 25% discount alongside all of the values that we would be adding to your life as a data science professional. And in case you'll be asking me, oh, what's the difference between international experience and Nigerian experience? You can see that both of the categories, you have access to 3 to 6 months of virtual internship. You have access to a remote job offer, a remote job board. So you just need to do what? Go there, search up for a job, check if it aligns with your CV, and then what? Go with your application. Then we have the international work preference letter. So if, let's say you want to apply to a job, they want to check you. What's your past track record of excellence? Or are you just like somewhat like a counterfeit? So that is where you'd come to us and we would provide you a reference letter for what? For 2 years. So you have this liberty, this span of coming to get reference letters for your application for a period of 2 years. But for the Nigerian experience, you get only what? 1 year. Remember, you get access to our employability sessions, our CV review sessions, our LinkedIn sessions, and access to your leads. The same way we had a demo with Mandy and this evening that he gave us like a detailed walkthrough of how we can leverage AI as a data science professional. You get that also during your internship sessions. Guys, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? If we will be interested in upskilling, remember, we are doing you a favor, actually. It is high time you go from being just like a mediocre data scientist to actually being an expert or a professional in the sector that you're vying for. All you need to do is just what? Close that gap between what you know and what you need to know. All right, so guys, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we interested in joining Amdari as a data science consultant? I need a reaction. I need a reaction from us, guys. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Do we have questions? We are about rounding up this session. I remember I mentioned if you, to get access to the slides, all you need to do is click on the link and fill the form. And if you want to be part of Amdari, if you want to get access to all of these value propositions that we are offering, all you need to do is click on the link and register. Once we've verified, we'll send you a contract and you'll be registered with us as a data science consultant, not just an intern. No, as a data science professional. All right. So guys, do we have questions? Do we have questions? Are we good to go? Are we interested in joining Amdari? I know I saw a couple of hands raised up before. How many months is the internship? So it spans from 3 to 6 months. So if you decide that, oh, after 3 months, I am done with the projects that I have to work with, I have acquired expertise, or then when you get a role and you can't really, let's say, you're done, right? You've acquired the knowledge that you want. So that depends on you. But a normal range spans from where? From 3 to 6 months. So if you decide you want a 1-year internship, you just have to communicate with us and then we'll provide what guidance as regards that. Then somebody is mentioning the tools that we covered. So let me just go back to my slide where I mentioned as a data scientist. Yes. So you can see the tools that I mentioned here. Guys, you get to work on projects. Now, we're not teaching you how to type hello world or how to, let's say, open a GitHub account. No. All right. You already have that understanding from your trainings. What you need to do is, how can I make a pull request? How can I collaborate with multiple professionals on the same project? How can I create a branch? Or if I'm working on my project, right? What's the structure, the standard structure, right, for a world-class project? All right, so you'll be having real world scenarios around what? Around these tools that we have here. So do we have more questions? Are we good? Are we good to go? Are we good? Are we good? What are the deliverables? Is it data analytics or data science? So guys, remember I mentioned that we run a lot of internships spanning from, let me just go to that slide, spanning from data analytics to data science to data engineering to BA to cyber security. This particular session was tailored specifically for data scientists, but we hold other orientation sessions as regards to what we do in helping you upskill from being what? Just a data scientist to being a data science professional, or if you're a data analyst, how you move from that level to being a professional. All right. So do we have more questions? Are we good to go? Please, what's the price? So I'm just going to go back to that slide. We are currently running a discount for the okay, so are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Do we have more questions? Are we registering? If you'll be joining us for our next internship experience as a data science consultant, I need you to drop a comment in the chat. I need you to drop a 1 in the chat if you'll be interested, and we will be done in this session. So finally, guys, if you've not filled the link that my colleague is dropping in the chat, ensure you do so, because you will not have access to the slides, you will not have access to the notebook, the data set, and everything we used for this session. Again, I'll be reiterating on the discounts. We have a 25% discount running currently for the first 10 persons. So after we've gotten the first 10 persons, which I believe will be almost closed up now, instead of you paying $300 for the international experience, you would be paying $400. And then instead of you paying 300,000 naira, you will be paying what? 400,000 naira. And you have the liberty to pay in 3 installments. Guys, look at the value propositions we are giving you here at Amdari. Come to think of it, this is a lot for your own growth. All right, so you get to pay in 3 installments. Okay, so what you need to do to make payments, just click on this link. My colleague is also sending this in the chat and you'll be good to go. So for further, all right. So Tomiwa is sending messages in the chat as regards if you need clarity as regards how you need to proceed, or okay, this is my current level in data science, this is my current level knowledge level, this is what I have learned. I don't know if I would be up to the task, right, of acquiring that proficiency. Guys, we are here for you. Then I'm seeing a message in the chat, a question that says, what's the guarantee for getting a remote work? Again, remember I mentioned that aside you working on projects, we would push you out there in terms of you being public of what you do, right? In terms of your LinkedIn consistency, in terms of your portfolio, in terms of what your profile. Right, so we would provide you with all of that optimization. So your responsibility is to apply for a job, because you need to be the one to, we have like a job board full of jobs that you can apply to. So all you need to do is go there and send in your application. So based on the knowledge that we've given you from our civil review sessions, we have, if you recall at the beginning of this session, I started with the testimonial videos of consultants as data science consultants that we had, and then they transitioned into their roles. So very soon we will be having your own video up there as proof that you just need to be intentional and be detailed about taking the steps that we are providing for you here at Amdari. So guys, do we have more questions? Or if we do not, we'll be calling it a day. Again, this discount is just open for the first 10 persons. We have the international experience, and then we have the Nigerian experience. So do we have more questions? Are we good to go, guys? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? I need a response in the chat if we are good to go. I need a one. Guys, I need a one in the chat. I believe we enjoyed this session. And so if you obtained value from this session,